Thanks to Christopher Lee for once again being a month-on-month Patreon, or patron as the term goes. If you're interested in supporting my channel, please feel free to visit patreon.com/adsproductions. Now let's get into the episode. Twitter is testing disappearing posts called fleets.
Fleets?
Yeah, this is a real thing.
Sounds a bit science fiction, but alright, I'll take it.
So I guess basically in Brazil, I believe. Yeah, currently the test is rolled out in Brazil, which basically means you can put a tweet out and have it last 24 hours, then delete itself. And I think this is a response to the whole end the person's career when they go through their tweets that are 6 years old. Kind of make it a fleeting tweet, hence the name. So I don't know, it's not a bad idea, but isn't the whole point of Twitter is like it's a stream of consciousness, so you see what it was like at that time? I mean, if someone's going to post that they hate certain groups of people, then a fleet's going to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing this on the radio initially, and I think I misinterpreted it to, it being like the Instagram stories or Snapchat stories that last 24 hours, but a tweet lasting 24 hours kind of seems a bit what's the word I'm looking for? It seems a little bit redundant. There we go. It seems a bit redundant because if you're gonna, say something, especially on like a Twitter post, why would you leave it for 24 hours and then get rid of it? It kind of sounds like, the opportunity to post something controversial.
Exactly, yeah.
And then everyone freaks out over it and then it's just gone. And it's like, what are you on about? There's no post that exists saying that. Because
people are going to screenshot the shit out of anything controversial someone puts. So when they make comments like, it looks like a product lead at Twitter put in a tweet and saying, we're hoping that fleets can help people share the fleeting thoughts that they would have been unlikely to tweet. That's just recipe for freaking disaster, isn't it?
It's I mean, nail on the head. You're just going to take a screenshot and then it's going to get posted everywhere. And, it goes back to the old saying, anything that you post on the internet could be, forever there, as it were. So, not too sure about that statement. I mean, surely if, I really don't see what, difference it makes.
I think the approach the reason why they're doing this is for the more kind of, you go and try and get a job in the future and they can't look back through your tweets. But as I said, this is only going to encourage people to be even more toxic than Twitter already is. Yeah,
definitely. Because then, especially if you're like linking the tweets or trying to, it would just be, oh yeah, this has been removed or this is, this doesn't exist. And it's like, I think it would just cause more confusion than, than it being supposedly helpful for people to post things that they otherwise wouldn't. I mean, if you're going to post something that you are questioning whether you should or not, then, surely it's not worth posting at all. What difference does it make if you, get rid of it a day later?
Exactly. You don't have to post everything you think and see on the internet. It's almost like there's such thing as life before the internet. Just keep it offline, maybe.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see these services and products and stuff become like a temporary content providers. I.e., at the moment you've got your YouTubes, your Flickrs, your Instagrams. Come on, give me some more Vimeos, things like that. It's very much like you upload the videos or your audio or your pictures, and that's almost like your catalogue until you say otherwise. I hope we don't start seeing products and services like, if you don't post anything, then you'll just have no content because it gets removed anyway. So thanks for using the services. Post it and it's gone. You know, I don't want it to be a precedent that gets set. I understand the need for maybe certain accounts, like, you know, I'm trying to think of an example where you'd use it. Maybe
A parody account,
maybe
maybe.
maybe a parody account, and or like you're trying to give some comedic view on some sports game or whatever it is, and you use like maybe some expletive language and you know, controversial opinion that's not necessarily illegal or racist or anti-Semitic or whatever you want. It's maybe a controversial opinion that you don't want being brought up out of context, because one man's like, oh, I'm going to go and shoot him, is another man's, I'm going to go shoot him on Call of Duty, and they were talking about a game. You know, you don't want things being brought up from the past when you were trying to have fun at that particular time. So I kind of see the use for it, but at the same time, you're kind of just opening the floodgates for the trolls out there.
Yeah, 100%. But you know, I really do hate this. You know, I guess it is a response to cancel culture, isn't it? In some way.
Yeah, true.
You know, where as you mentioned, you know, people are like going through someone's tweets. You know, oh, this person posted this like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, when, you know, people were most definitely less, you know, offended by things in general, and you know, I guess life was you know, a little bit different, you know, around the time that they, you know, posted something, or maybe it wasn't offensive at the time and now it's become offensive, you know, because things like that can happen, and I suppose, you know, maybe people should care more about, you know, not having to cancel something because they're offended by something, or, you know, maybe they disagree with it, or maybe they're, you know, offended, they disagree with it, whatever, or maybe they see it as wrong, you know. Cancel culture shouldn't be a thing, you know. Nobody's life should be ruined over something they said.
Yeah, and you know, I'm hoping that this sort of this being in the news stories and these products and services slowly being introduced will kind of make people think about, you know, the difference between their more permanent online profile and their not so permanent, and the fact that you can't really have two different ones. It's just, maybe this is trying to do that, but at this point, as you said before, anything that you put online, video, audio, pictures, whatever it is, just because Twitter come out and say, we're going to make it easier for you to share your fleeting thoughts that you otherwise won't tweet, we'll get rid of them after 24 hours, just because a big tech company comes out and says that, doesn't mean for a second that you should, oh, okay, that's great, they've got my back, so I can post, I hate, I really wish they would go, cool, don't worry, Twitter's got me. I just think that's at the end of the day, if you're relying on a big tech to be your moral compass for what you put on the internet, you're your own worst enemy.
Yeah. Not too sure where Twitter's going there. I think, as I say, I think it will cause more chaos than good, as it were.
Yeah, because you've even got, like, let's say you had a website 5 years ago that was, like, embarrassing because it was some project that you wanted, you didn't really want anyone to know about it. Okay, so then you delete it. There is such a thing called the Internet Wayback Machine, which takes snapshots of these pages. So who's to say something's not going to be bought out for Twitter and said, okay, show me tweets from Dalek 2 years ago at this time. Yeah, but he deleted them, but he was using the fleeting thing. No, we've got the whole record here. So just because a product comes out doesn't mean it's the be-all and end-all. That's what I'm saying.
That's very true. And to back up what I'm saying, you know, obviously there's some things that people, I guess, maybe to a degree deserve a bit of outrage over or whatever, but I don't think completely, you know, cancelling somebody is really the way forward, because, you know, people act like a saint and, you know, like they're such a great person, you know, trying to cancel out somebody when I'm sure there's something that they've done which many people would probably want to cancel them for. You know, don't be a damn saint.
True, but I think they should be checked, though. As in, it's one thing to cancel culture and destroy everything about that person's lives, but there's something to be said for, hey, look what he tweeted then, and then having them embarrassed and then moving on. That's one thing.
Yeah.
You know, having the whole why did you tweet that weird explicit tweet 2 years ago, and having them scramble, that's kind of holding them accountable a little bit, but that shouldn't be a permanent record. Definitely agree.
Mm. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Like immediately I thought of the you remember when people used to do YouTube videos and say I'm going to delete this in 24 hours or whatever it is. Hopefully this doesn't pave the way for temporary content. That's what I'm hoping for. Cuz
I don't really like it. I mean, I get that to a degree. It makes it special where it's like, oh yeah, you have to watch it within that moment at that time, and you're one of the few people that get to listen to it or see it or whatever. I get the appeal of that to a degree, but
yeah, it's similar to like Facebook stories and Instagram stories. It's kind of, if you weren't there within that whatever it is 24-hour period, then you don't see it. But
yeah,
it's maybe I'm just out of touch with this sort of thing. But why even is that popular? Why? Yeah, I really don't understand the whole
24-hour stories.
Well, just like the temporary content, like, if you weren't online on Monday between 9 and 7 Eastern Standard Time, then you won't have seen my update, kind of thing. It's, we're living in a world where everyone's trying to be interconnected and have more followers and more reach to everyone, and then, it's now being restricted with content for a certain amount of time. I know, maybe I'm just rambling here, but I don't like the precedent that it's setting for temporary content, because it's one thing uploading a content and saying I'm taking this down. It's another thing, everything that you put out gets removed within 4 hours, let's say, if you're putting it out. And having like a live feed kind of thing. Because let's take sports, for example. You have your live feeds, and you have it there and then at that exact time as they're playing. But when that live feed ends, you can scroll back down and see the timeline, right?
Yeah.
That's what I prefer compared to now you see it, now you don't. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that? Is that reasonable, or am I just not really understanding the concepts here?
Well, it's difficult because I think there's good and bad sides to doing I guess temporary content, as it were. It, as I say, it's kind of like being there in the moment and doing it there and then. But if it becomes on a much larger scale, then it would definitely cause, a huge amount of confusion, because people are like, oh man, someone posted this, and then, let's say you're at work, or maybe you were just busy at the time with life, or doing whatever, and then you come back and your friend's like, oh mate, you should have seen it, it was so funny, like XYZ did this, and it's like, oh great, I missed it. And then I guess it increases the fear of missing out, kind of thing. Which,
Yeah, I understand it from an engagement point of view, is that like,
yeah,
oh, that's what they're doing right now. This is so much more interactive than just reading through some text that they put on 24 hours ago. I get that there's like they're live element, but I'm just saying most things that are live get recorded.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I don't know. I personally, I'm not a big fan of it. And I don't know. I guess it depends who you talk to, but
it depends how. I haven't read too much about this, but it depends how that's integrated within Twitter. So, let's say you've got your normal stream and timeline of tweets. Let's say you've got, just went and did this and just did that, and they're all the similar sort of format. Yeah, they're similar. Person that tweeted it, the tweet, and then options to retweet and all that. Yeah, I wonder if things like these fleets will be different. Maybe they'll rise to the top first. Maybe it won't be a timeline format. It will be more of a, glow up in like a orange color that stands out, so you can see. Oh, okay, I caught them at the right time because they're doing this and it's going soon. I'm curious to see how that's going to fit into the Twitter format, because people know Twitter and they've been around Twitter for a long, long time. The president of the US uses it. Is he going to be fleeting? Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
He's like, just send those immigrants back. Oh, better put that as a fleet because I don't want people calling me on that. Oh, don't just hate Mexican people. Oh, better put that as a fleet. Then that gets removed. Nice. Is it? It's how it's going to be used. That's what I'm curious about. Because obviously the concept of temporary things and self-destructing messages and all this stuff it's quite old concept, but obviously we're living in an age where you can tweet that you don't like, insert
Anything.
product, service, group of people here, and then 2 years later someone can go back through your stuff and go, oh, this out of context line here doesn't make sense in our current thoughts on this, which means obviously you're the same person as you were 4 years ago. So do you want to just lose everything you've worked for? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, sums it up in a nutshell. Let's
Yeah.
scroll down a little bit and just see a little bit more.
I know what you're thinking. It sounds like a lot of stories. Okay. So for the people that aren't watching and just listening, we're watching the screen recording of fleets in production, or in the wild, as it were. Okay, really looking forward to da. It look. Okay, so it. For Christ's sake, so it is stories for Twitter.
But it's also 24-hour like tweets as well. I guess to a
where are we?
degree.
Hold on, let's see this. What does it say? Fleets are a way to share fleeting thoughts. Unlike tweets, fleets disappear after 24 hours and don't get retweets, likes, or public replies. People can only react to your fleets with DMs.
Oh.
Oh. What is going on, Twitter, man? Why do these tech companies want to be each other? They all do the same thing, don't they?
Yeah. That's okay. It is exactly what I thought when they announced it on the radio. I'm like, this isn't new. Instagram has it, Snapchat has it, Facebook has it. You know.
So basically, when you load up the Twitter app, you'll see the fleets at the top of the page, conveniently very similar to what you see when you go into Facebook and you see the stories at the top. Except with fleets, when you click on it and you want to reply, it goes straight to the direct messages within Twitter, instead of being able to retweet, reply, like, and everything like that. So it's just stories. These products, man, they're all the same. Just a different company that runs it and a different way that they give you the info. That's all it is. Let's keep scrolling here and let's see. Other social media networks are also working on ways to reduce the pressure some feel about racking up likes and other metrics. These moves can also boost engagement and encourage users to feel more comfortable sharing. See, this is the thing that concerns me, is that if the idea from Twitter is we need to make people feel comfortable about sharing things, just because it goes away on the app after 24 hours doesn't mean it goes away from Twitter. But this is what I think people don't understand. And I'm not saying that from a point of view of, these peasants, they don't understand the stuff that they're using. No, I just think the clarity isn't there. So if your average Joe, including myself and you, Dalek, if we sign up for these products and services and we start using it, and you post your fleet and it goes, you don't know where that info is. That info deleted? Is it held with Twitter? Is it passed to somebody to market research? That's what I don't think is fair when the companies try and make people more comfortable sharing and trying to boost engagement, because people will react to it quicker. It's all for bottom line profit at the end of the day. So fair enough.
Indeed.
If they want to make it more engaging, that's great. Not a problem. I don't have any issue with that. Make something more appealing to consumers, for people to use and share with. That's cool. It's just the whole, people are getting quite concerned about Twitter because they think, their lives will be ruined, and not ruined, but tarnished in some way because of some old tweets. Why don't we make them feel safer by having the tweets or stories just disappear? We'll still keep all the information at the end of the day. When it goes, we'll still have all of those fleets that were there. It's just they won't be able to see them. So we can still sell what they thought and have it and store it in a database. They just will live in the whole, it's off my profile, so I never said it bubble. Until some data breach happens at Twitter and, it comes out that everyone's fleets is now exposed because of some bug or some pissed off employee. These things happen. This happens in the tech world. It's not, yay, we're safe and secure because Google's deleted my data. Are we? Tell me I'm wrong.
No. Definitely not. It's there forever, for life.
Yeah, I know. I sound a little bit kind of conspiracy nut job, but people shouldn't. Not maybe it's a bit hard to say people shouldn't trust these social media companies, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Shouldn't put too much faith to the point where they, completely trust them with every single bit of, information, as it were.
You should always remain skeptical about everything you do. Obviously, not to the point where you're
Cautious.
not to the point where you're kind of negative. It's just always have in your mind, okay, what's the goal here? What are they trying to do? Because I said it before, I say it again. If something is free, then who is the product?
You.
You are the product. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, I got a bit carried away there. It's just these sort of things annoy me when these tech companies pretend they're trying to look out for people when it's just bottom line,
Mm.
Hey, I use Twitter myself. I'm not one of these, hey man, don't use Twitter, man. The man is watching you, man. Nothing like that. It's just, remain skeptical. That's all. That's pretty much it. Do you have any other words on this? Because I'm trying to see here in the story if there's any other talking points. People often tell us that they don't feel comfortable tweeting because tweets can be seen and replied to by anyone, feel permanent and performative, i.e. how many likes and retweets you'll get. We're hoping that fleets can help people share fleeting thoughts that they would have been unlikely to tweet. It's just shit, man. These guys... Isn't it?
Yeah. It's just typical PR kind of PR talk, as it were.
I want to make a clear distinction. It's not the product that I don't agree with, because I'm all for streamlining it. If people want to use this and we need to give them this and we need to make this change on the app to make sure that they engage more, that's cool. That's business, right? That's capitalism. People choose to sign up to it because they know, hopefully, that their tweets get sold for info, I believe, and it's just the whole platform itself is monetized with ads. That's a business. Cool, no problem. You make money, go for it. It's just the whole trying to make people feel safe in our bubble. Come to us. We will look after you, not a problem. Don't worry about getting your data stolen because we're just going to delete it from your timeline anyway. And for 24 hours. That's all. That is all.
It's definitely a PR statement. That's, I mean, it's annoying. Anyone that's not tech savvy will probably just believe it, but anyone that I guess is more of a tech enthusiast will know that that's just a BS statement.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about. I need to get better at that. I need to know what I'm going to say in the next line instead of what was I going to say? Because this is a podcast. You don't listen to a bunch of maybe I should do. So with Twitter, I was going to say something about.
You know what, Karen? I didn't know what I was going to say.
Oh, that's right. So, for example, in the news, I agree 100% with what you're saying. So it's definitely a PR thing and like a damage limitation, because at the moment, when you hear kind of like a scandal happen that someone gets cancelled, immediately you think of Twitter, don't you? You think someone's old tweets. What did Trump tweet? There's always that tweet word. So that means anytime something bad happens, Twitter gets hammered by, Twitter's doing this. This causes problems because people put their stuff on Twitter, and there's always that. It kind of generates that negative connotation.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is a way for them to go, no. On Twitter, you see, you can actually have 24 hours of before it gets deleted. So it's a very, very smart move on their point, and props to them. That's all. So just be careful is all I'm suggesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So no closing statements on that one. Should we move right along to our other friendly company that we love to bitch and complain about?